Hello YouTube. So I received my Galaxy Watch 4 on Friday. So that's 3 days ago. I was supposed to receive it on the 27th. I was fortunate to get it a week early. So I thought I'll do a comparison, and I still have my Galaxy Watch 3, so I can, kind of put them side by side and just talk around that. And also incorporate an unboxing into that as well. I was able to go for a walk for 4 miles, but before I went, I saw this icon and I was quite pleased because, it's a true confirmation of Wear OS on the device. And the thing I was able to do, as I was saying, is I went for a walk for 4 miles, so I'll be able to talk around my initial impressions. I wore both watches, one on the left and one on the right. So the Galaxy Watch 3 was on the left. The unboxing is nothing exciting because the box is similar. It's no longer that squarish box that we used to get. It's now this longish rectangular thing. And there's the watch. So it's the first thing you see. When I look underneath, I could almost guarantee it was similar to the Galaxy Watch 3. But we'll have a close look in a minute. And I'll talk about the bands, I'll talk about the buttons, I'll talk about any differences I've observed as well. But right above in there, we still need to do the complete unboxing so you can see what you're getting. So you just have to pull that thing out. And when you do, and start shaking it, you're going to find that little box there. And I'll show you what that is. And on the other end, it looks like they don't both come the same end. So you have to flip it round and then take out the instructions and other documents the other way. And there we are. There's nothing left in the box. Here we are. So I'll just show you. That's the charger. Very similar to that one for the Galaxy Watch 3. It's not Type-C, I'm afraid. Very, very similar. I'm not sure if this charging speed is going to be increased on this one, but that's the unboxing. That's the unboxing, and we could end the video there, but I have a couple of things to show you before we end the video. Actually, Samsung have sent me a bag, this bag here. They've sent me to return the Galaxy Watch 3 because I've traded it in. So the watch I think was £400, and then they gave me 200 for this old one, so I only paid 200 for the new one. I went for the classic because it's got a rotating bezel. One of the distinguishing factors that is a deal breaker for me. I used the Active 2 before and I didn't like the digital bezel, so I've got this, and it's one of the reasons why, again, one of a few reasons why I wouldn't go for the Apple Watch if it doesn't have this, because I've come so used to using it, and it's very convenient that I like to use it. So what do we have here? What we have is a new processor on the new watch, which is supposed to be at least 20%. Some are saying 25% more efficient than the old watch. It's still Exynos, I think. It's got a bioactive sensor. This is just for body composition measurement. It goes into detail about technical terms, but that's the best way to put it across. It does sleep tracking in a different way. It records your sleep and it tracks your snoring. So it works with your phone on your bedside, and it tracks your snoring, and you can kind of hear yourself and listen to it and see when you were snoring. Yeah, it's got Wear OS. Let's just check that quickly. The other thing, you can see the icons while I'm doing this. Try and do it same time. There you go. So about watch. So software. I don't know if that's in view. Software. Here we go. So you can see One UI 3.0. There is no mention of Tizen on this new one. There is Wear core services there. There is Google Play services there. So yeah, Wear OS on the new one, and on the old one it's still Tizen and software. Right, here we go. One UI 2.0. We saw 3.0 on this one, and then we're seeing Tizen, and we saw Wear OS on this one. So it's Wear OS powered by Samsung. They've worked together to bring some of the existing Google services to the watch. But I hear that Google Assistant is not included in that. So we'll have a proper look in the actual reviews. This was just supposed to be an unboxing. Now, the other thing is you got gestures on the new watch used to kind of end calls and things like that. We'll look at that in the full review. The old watch is supposed to be slightly heavier at 53.8 grams, and the new one at slightly lighter at 52 grams. And then in terms of battery, which is kind of the thing that people really care about, 340 milliamps on the old, 361 on the new. So there's a little bit of an improvement there. And also one thing I noticed while I was out walking is that on the new watch, when you complete, you know, say a mile, it will say to you, you completed a mile, your heart rate was this, da 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 da. But it also says your steps were this much. Whereas on the old one, it will say the mile, it will say the heart rate, but it won't say the steps. So that might just be because this is more up to date in software. Now let's look at the watch itself. So there's something I observed. Can you see that this button here has got a red? That's the on and off button. That's not this one's the back button. So if you like, this is the home button, this is the back button. Yes. Now look what Samsung has gone and done. Now I only observed this because I was struggling trying to set an exercise and then go back to the screen before, and I kept going to the home, and I'm thinking, what's wrong here? They've interchanged the buttons. So the one with the red, which was the kind of home button, if you like, is now on top, whereas the back button is now at the bottom. For some reason, I have no idea why. And I didn't see this mentioned anywhere. It's only when I was struggling trying to get this thing to work that I found that. Let's quickly look at the watches here. So 45 millimeter and 46 millimeter on the new one. The only thing I would mention is that if you were to put them down like this and you try and move the bezel, that moves fairly easily, and it's got a nice click to it on the old one. On the new one, it's a little bit more tight. It still moves, but oh, I've got my tripod sitting on it. That's why. This is what I wanted to show you. You can see that it kind of moves the watch as well. You may say that this is metal. Obviously, it might be a little bit heavier, so it's not moving. But there's noticeable difference is what I'm trying to say. Noticeable in that it's more tough to move this bezel than the old watch. So it's a little bit firmer. Now on the straps, the watch comes with these very flexible, very soft bands that are kind to the skin. Now as you touch them and you feel them, and if you recall when the Frontier first came out and was supposed to be rough and tough, had very hard bands that would probably mark the skin, and then they came out with the first Galaxy Watch and improved things a bit. If you like, you can call this the latest improvement along those lines. It's much softer, much bendy, much flexible, and I wore it on my walk that I did for 4 miles. It was very nice on the skin. I didn't have anything to complain, really. I think it's very nice, and I think you're going to like it. Right, here we go. So which side is this? Okay. So if we go to the back of the watch, this is what it looks like. Doesn't look too different, but I think the new watch, which is this one here, has got all those fancy things that we were talking about in terms of measuring body composition, but I think it also works in tandem with these. But we'll do a lot of tests, you know. This was just to show you quickly. It's not to kind of try and find out how this works now. We can do some tests as we go. That's the new watch, that's the old watch. Okay, so Let me just see if there's anything else. I'll just show you these chargers. Someone will ask. That's the old charger for the old watch. Let's just turn that on the brick here. As you can see, it charges the old watch as it should do. But does it charge the new one? Yep, it does. So what about the new charger? It should charge this with no problem. Yeah. What about the old watch? Yeah, no problem. So the chargers, if you have an old one that you want to use with this new watch, you can. But as you saw, it comes with its own anyway. So if one was to break, I suppose you could use the other with no problems. Another change I've noticed is you used to be able to press the home button. So the one with the red marking here, you used to be able to press it and you get in all your apps, and the way you would navigate is you could use the bezel, or you could simply just flick, and there's 3 screens there as you can see. So that was the home, and this would be the back button, and then your back. Now that doesn't work on here. So if I press this button here, I'm supposed to see a list of all the apps. They're not there. Or if I press the back button, it doesn't do anything here because we're still on the home screen. So what I'm going to do is flick it up and just go up like this. I think I might have gone left here. Go up. Yeah, there you go. So if I go up, that's when you see all the apps. And then you can kind of go through them here. And you can still organize the apps on the watch as well as on the in the app itself. And I'll show you some of the things you can still do. So if we go back, this is now the back button, which used to be at the top. So if you press and hold, you can still have your clocks here, and you can still customize them. So if we click on any random one to customize, there it is. And it's telling you what to do there. So you can kind of change the colors. So and it's telling you can go up and down as well. So let's just do that. Customize. I don't want the prompts to keep coming up. So you can see you can move this side, and it's changing the colors here, second hand color, and you can click OK. You can go back, and then you can click OK there. So there's things you can do with some of the watches that have a number of complications. Let's see if we can get a good example. Like here, it's got a lot of stuff on it. So I would expect this to, when you customize, to give you lots more options. Yeah, so you see you've got lots more options here. So here we go. That's what you can change there, the hands. And then the complication. So this is what I meant. You can change this if you didn't want it to say, if you didn't want your initials there and you want to put something else, or you could just change what it says. Actually, in this case, you could change what it says. I don't know, you could say something else. You could say your name, whatever you wanted to say. If you go onto the steps, you can actually choose another. You could choose battery, and now there's a battery there, but there's already a battery there. So let's change it back to steps. Oh, I think I might have clicked Bixby by mistake. What are we looking for? Steps. There we go. So you can still do some of these things as before. Now, I don't know if there's anything else I can show you, but the body composition is there, yeah, if we're looking for it. And I think that's probably why they've changed these, because it's got to do with these two. When you measure yourself, the electric current has to go a certain way, a certain path. Maybe that's why they've changed that. But obviously you need to set this. We'll do all this in a full review. I just wanted to share some of the things that I think have changed. Is anything else? I've just discovered as well that this doesn't work with iPhone. So if you're an iPhone user, don't bother buying the new Galaxy Watch 4 line because it won't work with the iPhone. I've seen a few reviews on the Samsung website where they're all negative, and the one thing that is there is because they don't work with iPhone, and people have actually bought it because the previous Galaxy Watches worked with the iPhone and they bought it for that reason. But I suspect the switch to Wear OS powered by Samsung is what's caused it. So if you're an iPhone user, don't bother. So look at this. We walked for 1 hour 7 minutes, and that's what we've got here. We did 401 miles. We did 8,000 steps. This will show us steps at some point as well. And then we burned 407 calories. So let's just have a quick look here. Calories should be right under there. So calories are the only thing that is different from what I picked up here. So 565 on the old watch, and then 407 on the new watch. So you're burning less on the new watch. But look at how close everything else is. And I've got a picture, I'll put it up here, a slide that shows you. I decided at just over 2 miles to take a photo of the both screens, and you can see how close they are. It's the first time I've had an old device and a current one be so close in the measurements they were showing. What I was just trying to show you really is that there's been lots of improvement. Very good improvement on making sure that these things tally. The map is, look at that. So basically the tracking is very good as well. Average heart rate 123 and 125, very close. And then the other thing I noticed, this is not new, I noticed it a few months back, is that I did a review before when I was comparing these to the Apple Watch, and the Apple Watch was very good at picking up automatically an exercise in 3 minutes. So you start doing some exercise, in 3 minutes it knows and it starts tracking. Samsung was always set to 10 minutes, which I found annoying because you could work out for 9 minutes and it wouldn't recognize it as an automatic exercise. But what they've done, I've only noticed in the last month or two, is that they can now pick up those activities within 3 minutes, which is great to see. The other thing as well I saw in the last few months is that Samsung never used to, you go for a walk for 10 minutes, there used to be a message that comes up and says, we've detected you walking for 10 minutes, and then it starts tracking on that 10 minutes. But what they now do is that there's an additional pop-up that says, do you want us to track? Because what they used to do is automatic walk didn't record heart rate, for example. Anything that's recorded automatically didn't use the full suite of measurements that it could use. But something now pops up here that says, you've been walking for 10 minutes, we've detected a walk, would you like us to go back to using the normal tracking? And you have to click yes. I like that because there are many walks when you don't start the walk, but it's picked up automatically. But then when you look at it, there are no stats because you haven't pressed the right stuff. So it's good that you get that prompt now, which was never there. I've only observed it again in the last few months.